Let's set the mood.
Here I am in the comfort of WhoIsAug.
It's the light in this day. Maybe close the door.
We're gonna start this podcast soon.
Smoke big doinks.
Big doinks, smoking big doinks. Oh, dude, imagine that's awesome.
I want to smoke. I want to wake up.
It looked funny. It looks so funny. Hello.
We good? The videos have started.
The videos have started.
And we're off to the races. Like, we're racing. Alright.
Hi, Og.
Hi.
This is Og.
Hi, I'm Og.
WhoIsAug.
Where is
That is Og. Welcome to Basic Conversations. Again, I'm here with Og. What's that? Is that the view from there?
Yeah.
We have different camera angles going on right now. You're showing me.
Well, this is your stream right now.
Oh, that's the stream. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was I thought you were like somehow streaming it from the GoPro.
Well, I could, but I gotta figure. Hold on, let me see if I can figure that out. On my side. Let's see.
And we got our doinks here.
We got the big
doinks. This is amazing. I'm glad we pulled this out.
Big doinks.
I'm here with Og, and I'll let you introduce yourself how you want to. Og, what do you do? Who you are?
I'm a guy. My name is Og. I'm this guy. I am a gamer, but also a connoisseur for big doinks. You know what I mean? And I like to play games. I like to hang out with cool people like this guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Got a family, kids, and a wife, and I have pets.
You got 2 cats and 2 dogs. One of them was barking at me hella hard earlier.
True. He's a little.
I like Blue, but there he was barking more than usual today. I was like, dang, I remember me.
I don't know what was up with him, but yeah, that was interesting. Like, I'm surprised he was barking for as long as he was. 'Cause usually he's like, boo, boo. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like.
I like how he is. He's funny, especially when he calms down, like that. How you're just doing, like he's guarded.
He just. Yeah, he usually calms down after a while. He's like, oh, whatever, cool. I'm cool.
God no, he's been chilling afterwards. So gaming. Earlier we were talking about Fortnite. We need to do tourneys.
Yes, we definitely need to play tourneys.
Listen, whoever else is willing to.
Definitely need to play Fortnite more.
Yeah. So I stream games as well. I mainly play Fortnite. I do like playing in the other games. Og here plays Apex. And we're talking about tourneys, how we want to play them for fun, but we could actually potentially win out of these and gain something.
We'll gain experience and friendship.
Gain friendship. We'll make friends.
We'll have friends. I can finally tell my mom or my wife I'm going out with friends. Although she says I have too many friends, or I have more friends than her, but I feel like I have not very few friends, but I have friends, I guess.
I say friends. I know that is funny. Would you say you have plenty? So this is my perspective before you answer. So I think I almost think of everybody as a friend, but like if I really got down to like detail, I would tell someone like, oh no, he is more of an acquaintance.
Exactly.
Because like, again, I do say everyone is my friend, but in the end, like, again, if we had to get down to it, I would tell you if this person is an acquaintance, not because there's certain depths of connection you have with everybody.
Yeah, you kind of. I feel like you hit the same point. Like what I was gonna say too. For me, it's like it's trying to like dial in life to say like, okay, who's an acquaintance, who's an actual friend, like
Yeah.
who's someone you can call like at 3 in the morning and they'll
Mm.
answer. I mean, I apologize in advance if I don't answer at 3 in the morning because I might be knocked
Yeah.
out. But no, like it's like the same thing, like, and then it's even like okay, like when you go out to social settings, like
Mm.
who do you consider as a friend? Because like I'm the same way. Like I consider everybody a friend, but then when I start thinking about it, okay, like who's actually a friend, who's actually just like an acquaintance,
Yeah.
or like who's someone who likes to play games but they don't like I don't know, it's like figuring out who I guess is a friend. Like
Mhm.
what is a friend? And not even like what is a friend, like how are you a good friend as well? Because like
Mhm.
I also struggle like to figuring out like how to be a good person like in a
Yeah.
friend. Like let's go out and hang out.
Mhm.
But like I'm bad at like I guess just like reaching out because like it's not that I intentionally do it,
Mhm.
it's just like
It'd be like that. Like
yeah.
that's how I am too. I think I was actually thinking about this yesterday. Just and it really comes to mind every time to be honest. 'Cause I struggle with that too. But recently, it's been more conscious of how I reach out to people. Like I struggle reaching out to people too. Like to be honest, like I always say, I always know I could do better on my part. So that's why I never hold it. Like you, for example, I know with you, we could go 6 months without talking, um, and then you could hit me up out of nowhere. I wouldn't really feel any way about it because the thing is, I could have done the same. Like in the end, I could have hit you up 2 months ago rather waiting this long.
No, yeah,
But
it's like when you hit them up, it's just like you just keep going regardless of
yeah,
like the space. Like that's so interesting how it works. It's like the same thing like with Paul, like with me. It's like um I can go like a while without like hitting him up, but then at random like, hey, what's up? You want to hang out? Or
yeah,
like he'll reach out or like yeah, it's like and then there's certain people that I haven't talked to in a long time that I just like on my part I haven't reached out. Um and maybe they've reached out, but I'm kind of like life is just crazy. But now it's like now
mhm,
that I feel like I finally can slow things down or slow down and not go like fast, like 100 miles an
mhm,
hour. Like it's like okay, now I can start to focus and worry about what I actually need to worry about.
yeah,
Because like I feel like I prioritize money over everything else,
mhm,
which is not a bad thing, but it's also not a good thing either. The
yeah.
way that I guess I was going about it
I feel I do
in
the same
life.
too.
Yeah, because yeah, I feel like I went down the deep rabbit hole for work,
Mhm.
like my career stuff. So it's
Uh,
like I don't know. And then now I'm like, holy shit! Like it's been a while.
uh. So if you want to get into it, I know you're telling me bits and pieces. Would you want to talk about like from your perspective, how is that journey? If you want to start from like the beginning, like from at Zebra, how does it feel transitioning through all these levels to where you're at now?
So in the beginning, it was kind of like I don't know what I was doing. I was just
Uh.
like wandering life, like okay, what am I gonna do next? And so like after like just kind of like put in context. So like after I graduated high school, I went like a year without doing anything.
Mhm.
Like I mean, I was out going skating. I was hanging out with I think at the time it was Edgar, a guy named Bill that was like in our skating group circle. Like I need to reach out to
Mhm.
Bill, but I just don't have time like to go skate. I just need to make time to go skate now. But
Mhm.
and a few other friends there, and then a couple a couple of months go by after we graduate. In August, I actually went out to California for the very first time for like on a skate trip. It was pretty cool. Um, and that's when I went to college. Like I did go to college for like a semester, but then after that I didn't go back because I was like, this isn't for me. Like my sister was like, go to school, you're gonna love it. And I was like, hell no, I don't love this shit. Cause like me, I was like, I'm done with school. Like I made it this far to like not do that anymore because I knew it wasn't like helping me get where I need to be as far as like my mental state.
Mhm.
So I felt like it was just so draining, like just doing the same thing over and over again. Like I'd rather go out and do other things that at that time I felt like were really passionate, which I think I still feel like a strong passion for, which is skateboarding. Like
Mhm.
that's all I wanted to do was just like skate, skate, skate. Obviously work, but then I was kind of at a point where like, okay, I can make more money if I do this, like go get a job, work a certain amount of hours, and play that game of like, okay, if I switch jobs or get a new job or whatever, or land the job, I can make money or whatever, and everything will be good. But in reverse of that, I was like putting in all these hours. Like I remember this one time I put like 90-hour work week,
Mhm.
and it was like the most I've ever worked like on an hourly rate that was actually like documented was
That was
like
the
hour
longest
like
I've worked too.
it was like a 90 hour. It was like it was at Zebra, and that's when I had went to Zebra because like before I even went to Zebra, like I was like a contractor
Uh
at TI, which I was like looking at other jobs, applying other jobs. I
huh.
was like, okay, like at the time I really wanted to go to T-Mobile, but now that I look back, it's like if I wouldn't have went to T-Mobile, my life would have been completely different.
Yeah.
Because if I never would have went to the warehouse, I would have never plugged you into
Yeah.
DHL or like Brian. Like I
Yeah.
plugged him as well. Like I plugged in also Juan, I
Yeah.
think, and then Paul. Like
Yeah.
I plugged all y'all in. Like I got y'all in. Like I remember when Paul had interviewed. Like he had just came from Arkansas, and like he had no car. He didn't have like a job. Like he was working at McDonald's back there, but he came down here and he's like, if I can get a job, 'cause I think he was staying with Mark
Uh
over in I think Godly.
huh.
And yeah,
Godly?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
like all the way up by Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
out
okay.
there. Like he was living because Mark was living with his girlfriend at the time,
Uh
and
huh.
Paul was staying there too. So
Oh,
like,
okay.
um, and he was also staying between there and his mom's place, which
Uh huh.
she was living at a hotel or a motel like over there by Lancaster, and he would stay there occasionally, or he'll go like until she got an apartment. But like eventually, like when he came down here, I was like, hey, come here. Like that was when Ryan was here. Like
Mhm.
he's the GM here,
Ryan. Shit.
Matthews.
I know. Okay. Now I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
had the image came to head.
So yeah, he was here, and then like at that time I was still a lead, so I was like, hey man, because I had brought you in, I had brought in, uh, you came in before Paul, right? Or did Paul
Where
go before?
no, in the DHL I came in. I came in like 2 weeks after y'all had opened. You put me on real quick. Y'all,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
came in
yeah.
right
Like so
right
tell
when
me,
all the bins and stuff was
yeah, so
done.
tell me when you came, because like to me all that stuff was a complete blur. Like everything was just
Uh
so
huh.
fast. Like as soon as it like I can remember, I was like, holy shit, like I'm already leaving. Like
Uh huh.
uh So tell me how that went for you, like on your end, like whenever you started, like your whole experience of growing in there.
Um, for me, I don't know. That's so crazy. I just came in like you hooked it up with the job. I forgot where I was beforehand, and I was like, yeah, let me go to the warehouse. Like let me. I was like, yeah, let
I
me start
think
work.
I think that was whenever you had were at the smoke shop.
I think I was at the smoke shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get into the smoke shop
that's
right
what
now.
that's
I'm
what
not
like
gonna get into the smoke shop
that's
right
what
now.
like just
Fuck.
start from the
Oh
zebra days,
no,
bro.
the
Cause
smoke shop. I hate that shit so much. I love the job, but what happened? That sucks.
but so you
Anyways, I came in like I know I came in after y'all pretty much set everything up. And I got trained by Nate as an auditor for Parcel and LT. No, I started out with Parcel. I don't remember who trained me with that. And then I met Nate and trained LTL. And
dang, that's crazy.
then I know he became a tasker, I think, and then became a lead, and then I became tasker.
So what month was it that I plugged you in?
I don't remember.
Cause I started there in June and I didn't become a lead until November.
I pro I probably got in August because again it wasn't too soon after.
No, yeah, cause like dude, all I remember was when I went, we're just going in, clocking in, and just like working, like,
Hmm.
and I don't know what I was working, but I was just working,
Yeah,
like
when I you were in what was it config when it started?
it was reconfig.
Yeah, reconfig.
But before that, I was helping them like pull in the pallets and like break them down to fill up
Uh,
the bins.
yeah,
So that's when I had Gilbert with me, R.I.P.
yeah,
Gilbert.
I know.
Um, and my mother-in-law was actually there too, because she was the one who plugged me in at the
Yeah.
other job. Like
Oh,
she was,
okay.
I mean, she didn't plug me in, but like she was part of the reason why I was there because like um, Nubia, which was my girlfriend at the time, was like, "Hey, why don't you go work where my mom works? Like, you work your 40 hours, you get $8 an hour, which is not too bad at the time, which was
Yeah.
2016." She's like, "But it's your 40 hours, you get like minimum,
Yeah.
and they might have overtime coming up." And I was like, "Oh, it's not bad." So when I went, I was working at Zoomies before them, so I was making like 725, and I remember working like random ass shifts. Like I wasn't there for that long either. I was there for like maybe 3 months,
Mhm.
and then that's when I went to Zebra or to TI because I was also working before that with a graphic designer. Like he had his own business, which
Okay.
I think if I would have stayed there, my life would have been completely different as well. Because like
Yeah.
now, right now, he's doing like I remember back then he was really wanting to get into like car wraps,
Mhm.
which he's like, I really want to do that. And if I would have took the initiative to say, you know what, screw the money. If I would have learned and practiced and put the skills that I've learned even in high school, which was graphic design, like that's
Yeah.
what I
I
majored
remember
in.
you had that class.
Like
Yeah.
if I would have just got this all like this raw experience and worked with him and partnered with him, then eventually I probably would have been doing like graphic designs and stuff and like
Yeah.
I'm doing merch and stuff. Like basically doing all the stuff that came in a sense for free for cheap labor, but put it into practice. So like I was like, holy shit! But I left that because I was working like the guy was first paying me commission,
Uh-huh.
meaning like oh like if that day I sold like X amount then whatever that I mean I would have hustled, but in my sense I was greedy in the sense like I wanted the hourly rate. So
Yeah.
I was like I want the hourly rate because there might be a risk I won't get that sell that day or whatever. And even then like the guy was so open to me actually like naming my price to the customer
Mhm.
because he didn't really have a set like pricing,
Mhm.
but like people were just coming from random like how much for a sticker this size or
Mhm.
this big, and I'll just call him up, hey, like how much for a sticker that's like by that much, and he'd be like like $15 or $12, but it's like if I would have took that initiative and say, you know what, like I priced at this price. I don't know if it's too much or not, but like here's the money. Cause like I wasn't trying to like steal his money either. Like say,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna charge the guy 25, but I'm gonna pocket the difference
Yeah.
because like I would rather be honest with that guy, which then he would pay me commission. So it's like,
Yeah.
but like I wasn't doing that. Like occasionally I was on the design stuff because I remember I designed this one like pretty badass business card for a church.
Yeah.
Um, I remember I even showed it to my teacher because I was working that job in high school. So if I would went full time and like just
Uh-huh.
like went down that rabbit hole, like I don't know, dude. Like I probably would have been doing so much other stuff right now.
Uh-huh.
But I mean things work out for the best.
Yeah.
But going back to the zebra stuff, it's like all I remember was just going in, getting reconfigured, like up and going. So like
Mhm.
getting the bins in, like to get like filled up. And that's at the time like Jesse had kind of like noticed me. He's like, hey, like this kid's kind of sharp because
Yeah.
I remember there was this forklift operator. I forgot his name, but I think you remember him. He was like the best forklift operator they had before. They kind of got a couple more people in, but
Yeah.
like he was like one of the first people who were hired on the project. So
Uh-huh.
he didn't last that long because he ended up leaving. He was like, screw this place. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of people were because like that place
Yeah.
sucked, but it was a pretty good place. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like there was no better place to be at than there.
To be honest, it's that's always been the thing with that place. It sucks for a good amount of reasons, but it's also good.
It was the one of the best because like that's where you met Nate. Like
Yeah.
that's where you met a lot of other people too. Like and it's just so crazy because it's like if it wasn't for that job, you would never met that person and you would have never impacted that person's life. Like the one that I keep calling back to is like the Gilbert one because like I remember Gilbert used to talk like my sister's ear off about me because oh your brother like how's your brother like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I felt bad now looking back because I was like dang like I was like down the street I could have just went up and said hey Gilbert you want to go for lunch or something, but
Yeah.
at the same time like I was in my rabbit hole, and that's kind
Yeah.
of what put me in perspective like hey I need to slow things down. uh because like back then like I was just grinding like I was just like putting in the hours and I was like trading my time for a dollar, which at the end of the day doesn't really mean anything,
Mhm.
because on the flip side like I wasn't really being responsible with managing that kind of money because
Yeah.
whenever I went from a lead I think at that time I was making like $13 an hour,
Uh-huh.
and like that was like the equivalent whenever Nate turned to Tasker because Nate was making like 13.75 or something, thirteen
Uh-huh.
sixty five. Um, but yeah, like I helped like set up the reconfig area, like pick and ship in there and set up how everything should work.
Yeah.
So whenever I left, Nimo basically took the mantle and kind of carried on. I mean, I felt bad too because I didn't really do much to kind of like set them up for success.
Uh-huh.
I was just doing it, but I never really like
Said
this. Had,
deuces.
well, the way everything was working out, it was like so at the tail end before I left, I was like I was split because I was like, damn, I can go for more money or I can stay here and play the waiting game, like being patient to say,
Mhm.
okay, if I do,
Wait, so when you left lead, that's when you became OSA or right? Okay.
yeah. So in a sense, I was able to walk away, but at the time I wasn't like really like okay, like let me train this person up because at the same time, like they weren't really big on like oh like well we'll just throw somebody in there, we'll just keep it running. So like
Mhm.
at that part I was like okay, that's cool, but then they weren't allowing the right people like who actually wanted the initiative to do more and be more
Mhm.
not. So it's like I remember whenever we wanted Riker as OSA, we got Michael Banks instead, which I mean he's a cool guy, but he shouldn't be in that position because either himself like he's like oh I don't like this.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's like we had so much talent, but we weren't able to you know grow that talent.
Yeah.
So then they ended up either leaving and just going to other things. Um, but then whenever I'm telling before I left, like that's whenever like management kept changing. That was another big thing too, which is like having to reprove yourself
Mhm.
to the new guy and then want to be the person to help take and lead the team.
Oh no. Turn it back on. It's on blue. Where you just press it?
Oh,
Is
I
it
might. I
solid
think I
green?
muted it, but it's unmuted now.
Okay, I'm sure it captured over here anyways.
Oh yeah. Well, no, like I just did that like when I said
Oh,
oh
okay,
shit.
so you're good.
So so yeah, like I just was just like deep like working like 10, 12 hours. It was Monday through Saturday, but it wasn't like the first week because like even then they weren't even we weren't even supposed to get like double time because Sunday was like double time. Like at
Yo.
that time I was making $10.40 an
No,
hour, bro, or
I
$10 an hour.
know,
So like
bro.
imagine if I was making way
You were
more.
getting
Like
money then. That at that time, that money was good money.
no, dude, I was making good money at the
Oh
time. Like
boy,
that check was like 700. Like I have a
for real,
picture of that
bro.
check. Like I made $900 and I took home 700.
My biggest check was like about 1,000, a little over 1,000 one
Mm.
time. I think. If not, it was over 900, close to 1,000. That's just because it was like that 90-hour work week.
Yeah, it's
Crazy, bro. 1 week.
no, yeah, those like
Back then, it was cool.
goal lines are crazy. But that was the other thing too. Like for me, like I rapidly progressed in the career in the sense
Hmm.
to say like I was making more money, but then I was like oh instantly like oh like what else can I get or what else can I do? I mean I wasn't doing like crazy to say I'm gonna ball out on clothes, but there were
Hmm.
specific things like the one that I can call back to is like I was getting a new vehicle every 2 years almost. It felt like so like if I would have kept my cruise, I would have paid it off this year or last year, and I would have saved myself a ton of money
Hmm.
because like yeah I my car payment was like 420 or 416,
Hmm.
and now you don't I don't even want to talk about it,
Yeah, no,
but
don't get too personal.
yeah, but no, it's crazy because like I was just chasing that money because like when I left DHL like I screwed up because when I went to Penske like they worked me like a dog like
Uh-huh.
I was working like 24/7, 7 days a week basically like for a few months on end, and that kind of burnt me out. And I think that definitely was what started me restarting myself in a sense, having like a reset.
Hmm.
So now that I've reset, and I can say it's been 2019 was 4 years ago. So yeah, it's been 4 years since I reset. So since 2019 till now, everything else outside of my life has just been like a blur. Like in the sense that like I never really like spent that much time like with my family, but it was like me trying to figure out me, you know. So now I feel like now that I'm learning how to take care of myself, me, how do I re-engage myself in the world? Because I think another thing too that kind of stopped, like kind of like I guess prevented that was COVID, the pandemic. So basically, like
That's my water real quick.
yeah, my mouth's getting a little dry right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like COVID, like everything shut down. Everybody was like, "Oh, okay, we're all quarantined. It's normal." And then like I got a work from home job during quarantine, which was like the best job I ever had.
Yo.
And I should have just stayed, but I mean, it is what it is. Um, yeah, I was working from home for almost 3 years,
Hell yeah, bro.
and for those 3 years, I was just at home.
Yeah.
I never went out, and if I did, I was out like either to like California,
Mm.
or like just here and there, but most of the time just here home.
Yeah, I know you big chiller at home.
Yeah, bro, like it's like my
Yeah.
routine. I wake up, take my wife and my son out, like take my wife to work, take my son to my mom's, come back home. Well, my original schedule was I wake up because my wife will drive to work. I'll take my son to my parents. I'll come back home. It was already about like 11. If I already had a doobie rolled up or a cone stuffed, I would stuff a cone. But if I already had one stuffed, I would go, I would smoke, and then I would get to work. And then in between work, I would go smoke again because like my wife would go pick up my son and then come home, so like I didn't have to leave. But
Mm.
then eventually I was like, okay, like um my shift changed because my shift used to be like noon to 9, which I
Mm.
didn't care about that because I was like, I'm working from home. I ain't gotta wake up.
Yeah.
I can game from once I'm done till like midnight or whatever. Wake up in the morning, feed my son. Um, because like even before like we moved into the house, like I was able to game while he slept.
Yeah.
So like I used to actually game before like from actually before he was born, like at 8 a.m. to noon. Like that was my schedule. Like I would always stream, um, and I was consistent with it because I was doing it every day.
Yeah.
But now it's like I'm consistent with all the other stuff like the social media stuff. But now it's like it's harder for me to find a consistent stream schedule because
Yeah.
my schedule is like very unpredictable now.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, going back to like the whole like DHL days and the Penske days and even just like working from home, it's like damn, I had so much opportunity that I didn't take. But now that I do have that realization, like okay, I reset. What is it that I need to do to get where I need to go?
Mhm.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Damn.
It's a lot, I know.
That is a lot though, to be honest. It is a journey to go to do all that. But so in regards to like the work you did, so you went to Penske as a consultant.
No, full time. Like so, I left DHL because management had just changed
Uh,
recently. There was a new director. There was which was Troy, but I knew Troy because I
uh,
worked at TI, so I was familiar with him. And I mean, words of the grapevine, they can like ask about me, like, oh yeah, the kid's like fantastic because like um I've never really followed up with the supervisors that were there whenever I was at TI, um, or I've ever gone back to kind of be like, hey, what's up? How's everybody? But yeah, like so then I forgot his. I think it was Jason. That's when he came in, and I don't remember when Rudy left
mhm.
or when Rudy was gone, because I remember leaving before Rudy, but at the same time they had posted a position for an OSM. But I was like, all right, guys, like, since Matt left, the senior position was open. Technically, it wasn't, but in a sense, they could have reopened the rec to say, all right, we want another senior. We'll put me in as a senior,
Mm.
and then Nate would be a OSA because I think at the time Nate had just became an OSA. He wasn't OSA for that long, um, less than a year, but he was there for a few months. And I wanted to be eventually the OSM to help mold and grow the team. But at the time, Jason was kind of like, well, I need a make my own like my own not assumption, but I need to kind of feel you out and see if you're the right person for the spot, or if we need to bring somebody else who is the right person for the spot to help get you guys where you need to be, so then you can kind of progress the career path.
Mhm.
Um, because the biggest thing that even you can attest to is like the one thing that I always get the conversation when I would always bring something like that up, they'd be like, "Oh, you're too young." Like when I was your age, like I wasn't still like I was still in school, or I was still like trying to figure out my life. Like,
Mhm.
cause I remember one time when I was interviewing for the OSA role, I think, or for the senior, it was one of the roles, but Ryan at the time was kind of like, "No, you're not. Like, we're gonna pass you up because of lack of experience and basically because of your age. Like, you don't, you're not
Yeah.
capable. Like,
Yeah.
um, so I was like, oh, whatever. But I was like, damn, like, do I really want to wait another person, or like, let's just say this GM doesn't work out and a new GM comes in, and at that point, I'm like, well, I've already wasted 6 months or a year, and this place is offering this much, which was probably like, I think like $16,000 more a year.
Mhm.
Um, which to me is like, if I can work up to the full amount they were actually advertising, because I lowballed myself. Um, and it was kind of a sticky situation because like I didn't want to leave DHO, but I was at the same time I was like, if I don't leave, I'm never gonna leave. Um, in the sense like like this opportunity's gonna pass up, and then
Mhm.
you know even then like I can come back because I originally was gonna go back. Like they did offer me the senior OSA role after I don't know if you're there if you're back there already when the OSM was there. I forget his name. Um, but he was actually a pretty good OSM. He was there for a little bit. I interviewed with him, but at the same time, he's in his interview. He was kind of like professionally saying, well, if you're better off where you're at there, like you should just stay where you're at, because like he was kind of like he was basically saying in a cautious way to say, this place isn't gonna ever get better until they fix themselves because they kept blaming the system, or they kept, basically
Mhm. As always.
same song and dance. Um, and he was kind of like, I'm the regional OSM, and a lot of the issues you guys are dealing with is just ops related, like follow the chain of command. And so if I got me going back, it's like not only is that the same, but the career growth is not there. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so he left before they came back and gave me an offer. But at the same time, I was also having conversations with McGregor, which was another parent company like Open Sky Group.
Mhm.
Um, and I was actively looking for other places too. And I was like, I wouldn't go back to DHL. Um, that's not good.
Huh?
Or like I wouldn't go back to DHL because I was like, I left for a reason. And then I was like, at the same time, I was like, um, do I want the offer they gave me? Because it was a low ball.
Mhm.
No, not low ball. It was I would have taken a pay cut, but they would give me a 10% bonus, which the bonus isn't really guaranteed because it's based off of how the sector does and how the site does,
Ah.
which the site doesn't do well for. Or let me rephrase that. the site does well, but only select few get paid
Yeah.
bonuses, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean if they do, their bonuses are bigger than mine because I think OSM is like 20% or
Then
15%.
I got the bigger dude.
Yeah, so I was like big dudes.
I got the bigger dude.
I love me big dudes.
I like big dudes too.
But yeah, it was crazy. So that's why I left. At first, it was like, oh, this is cool when I went to Penske because it was like so chill. Like, and at the same time, I was like, oh dang, like I didn't realize like I knew as much as I did because the guy who was there before me, that I ended up replacing, he knew some stuff, but he didn't know everything. Like, which is not his fault either. But at the same time, he got to the point where he was kind of like, I don't care about this place anymore. That he was just like, I know I'm gonna get fired one of these days. It's just a matter of time. And one day he was like, well, it's good working with you, guy. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? He's like,
Oh,
I'm about to get canned, man. I was like, bro, you being paranoid. And then like,
I
it
remember
happened.
you telling me about
It
that.
happened so quick. They pulled me in like, hey man, how confident do you feel like doing this on your own? I was like, I mean, I'm good, but and like, yeah, we canned the guy. But before then, like, they're like kind of talking about it, but I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, I think this guy is in the can. But then whenever he did get canned, like, they pulled me in the office the next day, and they're like, yeah, we canned him. I was like,
You said I'm alone.
I was alone. They
Can you
let
do this alone?
they gave me a $4,000 bonus like on the spot for it. Not a bonus, but like a $4,000
Like,
pay increase.
mm,
So that put me at the number that I was originally supposed to go in at.
mm,
But overall, it wasn't really worth it because I think their insurance was more expensive. So in reality, I was making more, but I was making less.
mm.
Especially because of the hours I was working. Like I was the only person, and I was on call. I wasn't getting paid for it. So when Open Sky Group came around, they actually I hit them up, but they're like, "Well, we're not really looking for anybody right now. We'll keep you in mind." A few months went by. They reached out and they, "Hey, we came across your resume. We're trying to see if you're still interested. We have a senior position open." I was like, "Sweet."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Well, I do gotta be honest. Like, I don't have a degree. Everything I've learned was on the job, and I did learn from very unique individuals who have a vast knowledge that was able to just give it to me like in a
Look at you
matter of
selling yourself.
huh?
I said, look at you selling yourself.
No, like seriously,
He's
like
like,
these
yeah,
guys were like holy cow. Like one of them is actually like the I gotta find him, but I think you remember him, Ravi.
I remember the name.
Like those guys were like they're like literal like gods in the industry in that aspect because like they've done so much or like they've accomplished so much on their own.
Mhm.
Like they actually worked at Red Prairie, which is Blue Yonder now, and they were actually they left, they went to McGregor, but then they came back and were like, hey man, we'll offer you this, this, and that, and he was like, say less. So he went back to Blue Yonder. He's still there.
Nice.
Um, but it's crazy. So when I went to Penske, I was like, holy shit, like this is a cakewalk. But I didn't realize that I was walking into a bigger issue, which was like an on call. So when I interviewed to Open Sky Group, I was like, all of this that I've learned and what I've been doing, and like a lot of hands on. Towards the back end, I wasn't really liking it because my boss at the time was not the best boss, and that was definitely what made me hate the job even more. Was that this guy like I remember one time we were having this testing, and I was up literally like all night, and I didn't go
Uh,
to sleep. So then I was like, hey man, like um, I'm gonna go home at noon because like I didn't sleep at all. Like I've been like they've been blowing up my phone. He's like, oh yeah, that's cool. So I'm over there testing, and then he's like, hey, I'm gonna go get lunch. You want anything? I was like, yeah, sure. So he comes back and he's like, oh shit, I forgot your food. And then he ends up eating his food. I'm like, yo, dude. And then at the end, he's like, oh, you want some of my leftovers? I was like, man, fuck you. So I was like, fuck this guy.
Dale.
So then I was like, fuck this. So I dipped. I didn't sleep until like I think it was like 30 something hours in, because that night was to go watch um Infinity War. So I watched Infinity War, and so I didn't get back to my apartment because I had an apartment at that time. Like at 2 or 3 in the morning. So I was basically up for like I don't know how many hours. I was dying, bro. Like my watch thought I was dying because like whenever the snap was about to happen,
No.
my heart was racing. Like
Red alert.
it was like uh
Like you should go to sleep, bro.
they're like you need to calm down.
Damn,
But
bro.
so when I talked to those guys, I basically told them like all my experience
Mm.
that I've gained over the years, and the lady was impressed. She's like, all right, I got you scheduled in for the hiring manager, which was gonna be my boss, and then his boss. Um, so I remember I interviewed with him. I had the whole like I had like about an hour and something minutes conversation with him. That he was like so impressed that whenever he's like, oh, if you hear back from the hiring manager or from the my boss, it's just more like a formality. Like just like a field check to say, okay, this guy's good, or maybe we need to reconsider. So I was like, oh, cool. They never really discussed like pay or any of that. I think at the time, but then they were like, okay. A few days went by. I get an email from the recruiter or from the HR. She's like, hey, just to not keep you out of the loop, they've been traveling, they've been kind of busy. Uh, and finally got time to get them, on the same page to say, okay, who do we're gonna go forward with, who we're not gonna go forward with. Uh, he's like, you're one of the top three candidates. So I was like, oh hell yeah. So then eventually like, I get a call from the HR, and I remember it was like end of day at work. We're sitting outside the benches that they had there, and my boss was like sitting outside too. He was just like chilling, talking to like other coworkers. And I remember getting the phone call, and she's like, "Hey, we just want to let you know that we're gonna go ahead and forward and offer you the job. So you have about a week to think over it before committing to anything. But I'm gonna send you the package and everything with benefits and all.
Mhm.
This is your paid, this is your salary, your base salary. They have profit sharing bonuses, um, and they also have like an incentive for on call. So I was like, sweet. And they're like, oh, you get 4 weeks of PTO. I was like, hell yeah! Like, and you work from home. They're like,
Yeah.
I was like, say less. So like, send it over.
Say
So
less.
she sent it over like minutes afterwards, and I remember seeing that, and I was like, hold down, like, uh,
He said, "Oh no."
I was like,
Fucking ugh.
fuck
He
this
said,
shit.
"Whoa."
I
He said, "Dude, bye, bye."
was like, bye, I'm out
He
of this
said, "I
dude.
clocked out as soon as I saw that email."
So I typed up my resignation. I remember we had like these like Monday meetings like mid shift, like or at the end of our shift, but at the beginning of second shift, so it was like an alignment meeting.
Mhm.
And at the end, I was like, hey, and his name was Tim. I was like, hey Tim, can I see you in your office? He's like, yeah, but they knew it was coming, so
Uh-huh.
I was like, hey, I just want to give you my 2 weeks notice. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. And he's like, oh well, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to another company. You know, blah 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 blah. I was like, oh, okay. Anything we can do to change your mind or anything? I was like, no, I'm good. So then the last 2 weeks, like his boss's boss or his boss was like, he like, didn't talk to me anymore. I was like, whatever. I was like chilling. I wasn't doing anything. I mean, there was nothing really much to do anyways. I was like,
Uh-huh.
there's no projects going on. The one thing I did have to do was train my replacement because
Uh-huh. He
we
said I
find
was happy go lucky the whole time.
bro, like they had just put this guy as my second shift or my counterpart
Uh-huh.
so I can help and train him, which I was glad they did that. But the way everything planned out, like if Open Sky Group would have came back and said no, I would have stayed to help that guy, but at the same time I would have tried my best to get out of there because what happened prior to what sealed the deal for me leaving was that when I originally got hired, they knew I had intentions to eventually like leave the site and go on and be part of the implementation slash support team.
Mm.
Um, because that guy really wanted me. Like he was actually the first guy to actually interview me
Mm.
for that position down at that warehouse because they couldn't find somebody. But when I talked to that guy was like, "We need to get you in the door," because like, dude, my resume is bad. But whenever
He's about resume
no, it
bad.
was bad, dude. Like it's still bad. Like
Yeah.
the only reason why I'm always able to get a job is because the hiring manager knows what they're looking for,
Uh-huh.
and when they find it and they're like, "We need this guy," like they're like, "All right, let's go," because I almost blew that one whenever because like I was on the fence, like I said, like leaving. I was like, I don't want to leave DHL to go to Penske, and I left. Like the recruiter, I told the recruiter, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go forward with it. I'm gonna stay because I hadn't put in my 2 weeks at DHL yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, no, I'm not gonna go forward with it after like I've accepted or whatever, or not really like fully accepted, like but so then afterwards the recruiter kind of went off on me. He's like, what the fuck, man? You're wasting my time.
Mm-hmm. Down.
And I like, dude, he went off. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not doing this anymore because like you just went off on me. And then he calls me back and said, hey, I know that was not professional, but let's try to see if we can talk to the hiring manager again or the guy because when I talked to him, um, I told him I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do this because the recruiter went off on me when I told him that I was thinking of like not going with the position.
Mm.
Um, so then he's like, oh, okay. So that's what kind of got me the okay to go back in because they actually were like, no, yeah, fuck this kid, like, um, but when I went in, they interviewed me. They're like, okay, when can you start, kind of thing. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
sweet. So they told me to apply, so then they can basically like offer me the job because
Mm-hmm.
that's the way that it worked with whenever I went there because usually you'd apply, then they interview, but they interviewed me, then I applied, and then they offered me the job, like legally, I guess. But
Yeah.
uh, yeah, but so then yeah, when I went to Open Sky Group, was living the dream because I was doing a lot,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, I enjoy doing that work, but at the same time, uh, it's just like growth. But then at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, it's like if I continue to grow, the more responsibilities I get, which is a given, which
Yep.
means more time away from my family. Because the last job I had, I was about to start traveling like crazy because
Yeah, this is before now.
yeah,
Okay.
because yeah, warehousing, you're gonna travel regardless. Because even where I was at when I was working at Open Sky Group, like I was
Mm-hmm.
support, but they were looking to do travel, which travel wasn't gonna be that bad. But at the same time, things were slowing down. I was kind of like shit, like I don't want to lose my job or like get like laid off because
Yeah.
they don't need us anymore. But
I know you told me about that
I
too.
remember I wanted to go to the other side of the business, which was like more traveling, which I was okay at the time. I was like, but they were kind of like, yeah, well, we're not really looking to get anybody over. They're kind of just like, well, we kind of don't want to. And I was like, dang, it was just bad timing
Dang.
because I could have went, but I
Uh-huh.
chose not to. I was like, actually, I'll just stay because at
Mm.
the same time I was on the fence.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I'm here.
I know. You said they were gonna make you travel like crazy. After I know, I remember you telling me a bit about that. Was it? Do you want to talk about what happened? It wasn't. Isn't that why you left in general? You told me about how you came. You went out for like a week or something, and they asked you to stay another week.
Yeah,
Eh.
so the way that went down was so they hit me up last minute saying like, hey, can you be in Pennsylvania Monday? And this was like Friday. Like literally, I was about to close my laptop and end the day, and he was like, hey, my boss. Like I know I hate to ask this, but you're the first person I gotta ask because you're the only person on the team that hasn't traveled. Like even the new person that started, like their first week was traveling. Like it was crazy. Like um, the amount of travel you're doing there.
Mhm.
Um, but it's like I was like, well, sure, I'll take one for the team. It's just 1 week, right? He was like, yeah, 1 week. I was like, yeah, I can do 1 week. So then I booked my stuff, and then I told my wife like, hey, I gotta go back. Like I gotta go like travel and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and she was still on maternity leave because of we just had a kid.
Mhm.
So she's like, cool, no, don't worry about it. Like we'll be good. Like my mom will come and help me out where she can.
Mhm.
So I go, and then I already knew that it was like a babysitting site, so like there's really no need for me to be there. They're
Mhm.
like, you just need to collect the data for 1 week, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
So towards the end of the week, they're like, hey, you're gonna be right back next week. I'm like, no, I'm just here for 1 week. But then those guys were like, I'm pretty sure, like they knew that, like, yeah, you're supposed to be here for 2 weeks, bro. And I'm like, I'm over there trying to like get away with like, no, no, it said 1 week, so I won't see you
Mhm.
guys next week.
He said no.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, like I remember I was trying to be difficult too. It's like I was like, no, you guys said 1 week. So then later in the week, I was like, God damn it, they're gonna fucking hit me with it. So like I knew it was coming, and so like I go to the airport. My flight's delayed coming back home because I flew there Sunday so I
Mhm.
could be there early, but my flight was delayed as well, so I got there late. But I was still there to be on time to be on Monday. But so I get to the airport, my flight gets delayed, and as I'm about to like board my airplane because I have my AirPods on,
Mhm.
I hear Siri say that you just got a message from Teams, and then it's like, "Hey, Og, I know you're probably on your way home or about to be on your way home, but my boss just asked if you can be like it was my fault on my end. It should have been like you should be there 2 weeks. Uh, they want you to be back Monday, or they want you to be back Sunday again. So I'm like, I'm about to fly home Friday night, sleep, do my laundry, and then fly back Sunday midday to be there because they didn't really like us traveling Monday morning if we need to be on site like right as shift starts
Mhm.
because I was supposed to be there at I think it was 8 a.m.
Mhm.
It was 8 a.m. which wasn't the start of the shift, but I mean my host would complain like oh I had to be there at 6, but at the same time it's like I was there um like I left early as fuck on Monday morning. Because I originally was like, like, no, I'm not going because I told them, like, I even told them middle of the week, I was like, hey, like, if they ever ask, like, if they ask if I want to be back in next week, like, I'm not gonna, like that. I'm already gonna tell you no. So if you wanna, like, if you wanna ask me again, like, I'm gonna tell you no again because that's my answer. So I don't respond back because I was like, I responded back saying like, oh yeah, I'll check because he's like, I know you're with your family and stuff, like, it's the last minute thing, and I don't want to do that to you. Like, I can probably like, we can try to see what we can do. And I was like, no, like, yeah, I'm not gonna go. Like, wait, let me wait till I get home. I get back to you. So then he reaches back out and he's like, hey, can you double check please? And at that point,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like pissed now because I'm like, I already told you and you already know. So it's like, why are you continuously telling me? So then I go home, or I get here, and as I'm getting onto the car to come here back home, I get a team's message saying, hey, it's not cool to ghost your boss, blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, wow, like he's like, either way, just let me know. I'm like, either way, just let you know. Like I've already told you no like
Yeah.
2 or 3 times by now. So then I'm like, fuck, like I know I have to go back, and I don't
Yeah.
want to go back Sunday because like, um,
That's crazy.
yeah, like my son was like, he was like, he gets upset. Like at the time he was getting upset because like when I first traveled the week when he was like a year old.
Mhm.
Like he got sick when I was gone. But this like the second time when I left again, like he was like getting slightly depressed. Like he was like not really like being himself. It's kind of just like, oh, where's dad? So then when I FaceTime with him, like he would basically be like, like no, I don't want to talk to you because like he was upset. He's
Yeah.
like dad, like where are you?
Yeah.
Which I mean, yes, I have to pay the bills, but at the same time, it's like yeah, to the extent of like that, like I don't want to do that because the guy who was there holding it down was like they told him straight up that he was gonna be there for 4 weeks, and like he had like this dry cough, like he couldn't get rid of it,
Mhm.
and like this guy has been traveling like so much, like and even the guys that were there too, like that were local, he's like, dude, I've been here since January, like I haven't seen my office like in like a fat minute, and that's like I live in Jersey and I have to drive all the way to like an hour out to Pennsylvania every day. I'm like, wow, that sucks. And like the other guy who was there, like he was missing out like on his kid's game, like, and he was missing out on a lot of things. And it's just like,
Yeah.
damn, like I don't want to do that. Like like I don't want to be
Yeah.
like missing out like on all these things that I have to live through. Like rewatch through a video,
Mhm.
I was like, fuck. Um, like if that's the case, I'm like screw that. But
Mhm.
I mean, I would have stayed long term, but at the same time, it's like um at the same time, it's like to what extent. But I mean, things work out for the reason, I guess. Because like the other thing too is like I have like some stuff lined up.
Mhm.
That's like so I'm gonna see if it comes out to fruition here in August,
Mhm.
but we'll see.
Okay. And does that have anything to do? Because I do want to ask, like, what are you doing now? If whatever you feel comfortable with talking about. Uh, yeah. If whatever, if you're comfortable with saying anything, what do you say that you're doing now, since you're happy, like, to not do all that traveling anymore?
Well, I know there's gonna be travel, regardless in the industry.
Mhm.
Um, it's just at this time I'll have a different, I guess, a different advantage is to say that
Like more control.
I'm more controlled. Say, okay, like I can pick an assignment or not an assignment. So like,
Mhm.
one of my guys, he's gonna give me, or he's gonna hook me up with what is it called? With some contract work
Mhm.
to do consulting.
Mhm.
To basically do what I was doing before, but get paid hourly, which will be
Mhm.
great because um, you know, if I can do like a 6 month or 2 month or whatever, then like I'm just throwing numbers out there. Like if I can work 1/3 of the year and make my salary in that third of the month and just working like hourly, then I don't necessarily have to pick on the next job, the
Mhm.
next 2 months. And at that point, like I can pick and choose where I work and how I
Mhm.
work because there's two job opportunities, like one here locally, which I mean I have to drive about an hour each day. But that's the thing too, it's like they're open to remote. So it's like if I can just eat a week here, eat a week there, but no, I'll be back at home.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, then I'll do that any day.
Mhm.
But there will be another one that's in the East Coast where I will have to travel. But within that, I can say, okay, now I can take my family with me if I want to.
Yeah.
Um, when like when I know that I'm gonna be there for a while. But
Mhm.
at the same time, it's like it can also open opportunity to say, hey, what if I start purchasing real estate in that area to say that when I know I'm gonna be there for an extended time,
Mhm.
we can be in a home setting if that makes sense. Like so if we get an apartment, which I don't think I would get an apartment. Why would I get an apartment?
Uh-huh.
But if I get like a small home or something, then I can rent it out when I'm not there.
Yeah.
Um, because that's kind of what I want to do in the future. It's like if I can get work out in California, that'd be great because my wife has family in California and there's
Mhm.
warehouses in
Mhm.
California. So that way, I'm able to find work locally here because there's a ton of warehouses here. So if
Mhm.
I can get like basically build my network here and build a team that is willing to travel, then at that point, I can in a sense create a consulting company that I can keep getting work for people, and like eventually I could probably put you on as well to say, um, if I find a customer, if I'm able to get out of that shell or figure out how to get customers to be in front of the customer to say,
Mhm.
hey, this is my rate and this is the scope of work and these are the people I'll put on,
Mhm.
then at that point I can put you on or other people on.
Mhm.
Um, but for now, yeah, it's just it's all slow moving. But
Mhm.
on the outside of that, I actually own a business that is actually bringing in income that's actually able to pay my bills. Um, but at the same time, it's like that's where I'll also put in like the consulting, like working my consulting, and also be working other types of consulting. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay, yeah. And then, so with the how's fatherhood for you?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
How has the experience been from the the day your son was born and then now having a newborn daughter?
It's pretty cool because you don't realize like you kind of went through those moments in life not that long ago,
Mm-hmm.
figuratively. Like it sounds like a long time, but if you
Mm-hmm.
think about it, it feels like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like to be able to be a part of their journey and be a better parent. In which that part I'm also like, how do I become a better parent? Like
Mm-hmm.
how to be better than my parents or how to be the dream parent
Mm-hmm.
without overprotecting, but also being there for them just you know as best as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to that, it's like it's a learning experience. It's challenging at times, yes, because definitely have to be patient with them because they're just learning stuff. Um, and that's the other thing too. Is like they're sponges, so you gotta be
Mm-hmm.
cautious of what you're doing around them, what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because they just pick up everything they see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's fun when like right now my son he really likes video games because he sees me play. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait till he actually understands like how to actually play the games to
Yeah.
be able to compete again, like
Yeah.
compete with him or play like games and
Mm-hmm.
you know.
That's my goal with Elias right now. I want to eventually try getting him a PC because he plays games. We'll play the PlayStation and stuff like that. But I eventually want to try getting him a PC so he could do his little thing and then even possibly play games with me. You know,
Oh
that'd be
yeah,
awesome. But it's yeah, it's definitely a goal to soon hope get done.
no yeah, because like my thing is like I wanna be able to support my son or help him go for his goals and dreams because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like and you can probably relate maybe is that with me like growing up like I did have a passion for gaming and for
Mm-hmm.
skating and stuff, but my parents were kind of always like, oh, you're kind of wasting your time because that stuff isn't going to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't know, or the lack of knowing, is that there's all these tools that were like, if I would have continued doing them, and rather than like kind of listening to them like
Mm-hmm.
internally
Mm-hmm.
and having that reset. So if I would have had that mental reset to say, okay, if my passions and stuff, like if I just chase that and what I really want to do and block out the negativity,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time find the support to help me get where I need to be. So like uh, definitely want to do that to my son to say, hey, if you want to like play gaming and make a career out of it in a sense to say play competitively, or even just stream it or whatever. Like I'll help you get to that, not necessarily hand it to you, but you know, kind of. That's where I think my part is like I kind of not sure like how to go about in the sense like um because I in a sense I do feel like I'm giving like I'm handing things to my son to say like you know us we kind of work for the things that we got
Mm-hmm.
um because like I know sometimes it can backfire in a sense like if let's just say like if I buy my son his own tablet right now he knows that the tablets like one of them is his tablet but the other one isn't necessarily his but to know that hey how to appreciate what you I guess have
Mm-hmm.
in a sense that like that like I'm not just gonna buy everything because we can
Mm-hmm.
I'm buying things so you know how to appreciate it but also know how to use and take care of it
Mm-hmm.
but it's interesting though it's an interesting aspect of fatherhood and stuff because in a sense you become the teacher.
Yeah, it is. I love fatherhood so far, man. It's great. And I love building that bond, especially with my son. And that's all I hope for in the end with my son is it be like pretty. I hope to be like his best friend. Just
Exactly.
yeah. I mean that's all I can say. Like hey, we have that father son relationship, but then I I want you to be
Hey
like my
Dan.
friend,
Yeah.
like just someone I could call up if any. I want you to call me up if anything ever happens at school. Let me know.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I just I love the journey. Elias is actually he's supposed to start flag football
Well, yeah.
in September, I think, is when it's gonna start. So I'm excited for that. See how well he takes it because he likes playing sports, but he hasn't experienced the team aspect of it all.
The no,
Like
I would say the
he plays
competitive
with
part,
yeah,
but
and the competitive. Well, he is no, he's experienced because he can be competitive. He hates to lose. This boy, that's the one thing I hope he learns. He can have fun, but sometimes he just gets competitive, and then he's when he loses, like he's just mad.
yeah, yeah, that's I think that's the part that for me it's like it's a really really big thing of like how do you explain it to them because like you don't want them to not feel like oh shit like I always need to win, but at the same time know
Yeah,
that it's okay that you lose, but at the same time like not like be like nonchalant that
Y-
it's whatever, it's just a game because
yeah,
it might not be a game to them. It might be like holy shit like I have to win,
yeah.
but it's so interesting because yeah like even my son right now like if he's playing a game and if he's not going in his favor like he'll just swipe up and pick a different game.
Yeah,
So I'm like
Elias would
ah
do the
no.
same before when he was younger. I mean, sometimes he does it now. If he plays on his tablet. Um, we were playing. Oh my god, my roommate right now. We were playing Mortal Kombat one time. Well, me and Elias started playing. I think I let him beat me once, and he started using the same move a lot. And I'm like, look, I'm finna show you that using the same move is not gonna get you to win all the time.
Yeah.
And so I started beating him, and he started getting mad. I was like, Elias, this is the point of learning combos. Because again, it's Mortal Kombat. I'm like, this is the point of learning combos and how to learn how to block. Because I suck at fighting games. The only reason I was good because it's Elias.
Yeah.
But so I'm trying to teach him at least what I know. I'm like, that's the point of doing. I'm like, have you ever watched Chris play? Because that's because younger brother he loves fighting games. I'm like, you ever watch Chris play? Like he's super good. Um, and so he didn't want to play with me after he asked my roommate. He's like, you want to go against me? He's like, yeah. And so he beat him, and he was all happy. The next day, my roommate no, he asked my roommate again, and so they played. Uh, but my roommate this time decided to try a little harder because he sucks at fighting games too. And so he started beating him, and he got bad. He didn't want to play anymore. I
The
was like, Elias, it, you can't get mad when you lose all the time.
yeah. I,
That shit made me laugh though. He got mad because I laughed, but I was trying to tell him, I'm like, look, you have to get good at these games. Like, there's
uh,
gonna be people better than you. Like, I understand why you're mad, but like, have fun too.
no, yeah, because that's definitely the big thing too is the unknowns that yes, there's definitely gonna be people better than you
Yeah,
in different things, but overall, no one's better than anybody else.
yeah,
Just on a specific skill set. Because
exactly.
if you think about it, like with pros, like even just like in a sport, like let's just say football, like
Hmm.
they might be a pro at that football in that position, but put them
Hmm.
in doing something else, they might
Yeah,
not
they
be the
suck
best.
ass.
So yeah,
Hmm.
it's like
Like a quarterback cannot be a fucking line defensive man.
exactly
I don't know all the fucking roles, but yeah.
same. But I just know like some of them. But it's like yeah, it's like I think that's the part that a lot of us kind of forget about. It's like damn, like this person is well known because of this, but
Mm.
outside of it, they could walk down the street, you wouldn't even recognize them.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm gonna use the restroom.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds.
We're at an hour 7 minutes. Is there anything you feel like there's anything else you want to say?
Mm,
Would you like to cut it off here?
I mean, it's up to you.
I mean, I'm down to keep going if you want to keep going for another while, like maybe 30 more minutes if you want though.
No, we can. Let me just take a
Okay.
quick restroom break.
Restroom break.
Smoke break
For
or
real, I'll
vape
chill
break.
right here. It's live anyway, so we'll wait patiently.
I don't want to hear that.
Where is the restroom? Cause it's right. Okay, I'm gonna need to use it too actually. Oh, I think is there one person watching? Who's watching? Oh shit. Oh. To the one person watching, you want to say something? This is going on the YouTube video too. I don't know if I'm editing this out, but yeah, for my YouTube viewers, if you're ever wondering why I'm talking to the camera sometimes, because this starts off live, I try. That's my goal right now. I want to do this live as much as possible. Sometimes it will be recorded, but I like the live. I hope to build a. I hope to get something going on the Twitch on the Twitch scheme of things. I don't need to go to the bathroom though. It's a beautiful day outside. It looks beautiful, but it's probably hot as hell. Freaking Texas, man. I like how quiet it is. It's like such a calming presence. And now it's my turn to go to the bathroom. Huzzah! Uh,
And we back. Boom, 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 boom.
Taylor Gang. Oh
TGOB.
man.
What?
Is Nuclear cooking?
Just cooking wings.
Wings? It smelled like chorizo, man. I was like, it made me start craving some huevo con chorizo, man. I was like, damn, that smells really good. That's cool. Making wings, hell yeah. I made some wings with my dad Easter. We were cooking, uh, that and surprise, and then we did buffalo and lemon pepper. A that shit was good. I need to make wings. I want to make spicy lemon pepper wings. Bro, I hate that Wingstop only does that when the NFL season. Yeah, when the NFL season comes. I didn't know. I knew and didn't know that. I guess I was just ignoring the fact because I didn't want to believe it.
You don't have a Twitter, right?
No, I have threads.
Alright,
Oh,
I got you.
don't you mean X now?
X,
You
you have an X, bro?
have X, bro? Ecstasy? What? That's so crazy. Fucking Elon, right?
Elongated
He
Musk.
said elongated Musk. Elongated Tusk.
Elongated Tusk.
Just put his face on a tusk.
Tusk. Hold on, I'm gonna try to post this. Where are you?
How would I be able? No. I think I would have to maybe get a laptop and maybe like a Wi-Fi modem of some sort if I wanted to be able to, or a tablet with Wi-Fi if I wanted to use my phone. 'Cause that's the thing too. I want to be. I was just saying earlier when you're in the restroom. I want to keep doing stuff. Like I want to be able to do it live before posting as much as I can. Sometimes it'll be pre-recorded, of course, but if the ones I could do all live, the thing is, if I want to be able to talk about anything, either I'm gonna need someone. I'm gonna need a second person that can act like as, of course, as someone else with a different perspective to add, fuel to the conversation, but I want to be able to have like a research pad of some sort, just in case. Again, we talk about stuff that we're not too, informed on. You just shared it on the treads.
Let's check it in the thread. I'm trying to see. Oh, yeah, expected.
What the heck?
Who's showing about it right now?
I know that's one thing I'm gonna have to get used to too. Like I feel like I'm great with people, um, but I'm not comfortable doing stuff I'm not comfortable with because it's new to me. Like I
What do you
have
mean?
to I'm gonna have to get used to like recording around like public areas.
That's what I was telling you. Like, really, like it depends on where we go because some settings,
Mhm.
like when we went to downtown, it felt comfortable, but in others it feels like getting out. I guess that
Mhm.
screw them, looking. But at the same time,
Yeah.
like you can't control the people around you, so it's like that's one thing I kind of started working on. Like I actually enjoy gaming solo,
Mhm.
like than with a group because sometimes I feel like not to say that they messed up the clip where like I'm like playing and like I'm about to like I guess knock someone, but it's like I don't know, it's weird, but
I feel so I guess this is how I see what you're trying to say. Because if I'm streaming, let's just say I play a solo game. I don't mind having people in the group if I'm playing a solo game. But what sucks sometimes if I'm streaming and trying to play a solo game, if you do solo gameplay, you want to be able to talk while playing this game, but then sometimes with those other people in the group, they're having like a completely different conversation, and so now you're kind of capturing what they're saying. They're probably ruining what you want.
I
I don't know if
well,
that's what you mean.
yeah, I guess it's like I guess my thing is like my way I envision like the gaming content, at least like for clips for me, it's like
Mhm.
it's like not raw and uncut in the sense that like it's just the pure gameplay, but
Mhm.
maybe I just do that like a compilation of me playing the game quietly, but just like highlighting it, put like music in the background because I don't know, I just might be me just
Yeah, you could do that too.
being very cautious of what I say because like the other thing too is like I can't control what the other players say. They might something that's like so random or so dumb, like
Uh,
because sometimes one of my teammates he can rage and I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to like, I don't want to have like
yeah.
a cool clip and then like they raging and like they're
A guy screaming in the background. Fuck, God.
no like or like they're like flaming my other teammates. I'm like, ah damn, like
Oh,
I'm like
oh, he be
I'm like
talking shit to the team.
I'm busting a clip and then they're like, you fucking suck, man. I'm just like, oh, like I don't know,
God.
like I
You could
guess
use that as a funny moment, though.
true. I mean, that's also why I'm like, damn. I feel like I'm also limiting myself because like instead of like showing what the stream's about, because I gotta remember that I'm in a sense I have to promote the stream, give people the stream, but to me I'm working it backwards to say
Mhm.
that I want to get people to watch my videos, like my
Mhm.
gaming clips,
Mhm.
but in reality, in order to keep it consistent, keep it going, I have to build an audience that when they see myself, like they have context to it. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to like not trip myself out as to like
Mhm.
overcomplicate what content can be or what it is,
Yeah.
than just to create because
Yeah. With content, I think you should just do what you want. With I think my little group of friends now, I feel like they're kind of realizing, and I would say I'm starting to see it too. Um, how we've talked about here and there about just doing things. Um, my friends right now, they're starting to hit points where they're like, damn, we really gotta, get shit moving. And so I think they're starting to be open with opening their flow more. Like they want to do what they want to do, but it seems they've been sidetracked by other things, and that now I'm doing what I want to do. So when it comes to like editing, that's why I say just do what you want to do, because you again how you say you're probably overcomplicating things, and you could be, and then at the same time, you're probably not even overcomplicating it. It's just the fact of you're not doing it,
Yeah.
and so like that's why you should just like me with gaming right now. I need to save some clips I have, but I know what I want to do with gaming is is funny and funny stuff and good kills, or maybe even something interesting. And I wish my people would stream or record stuff too, because it would be nice to have a group of gamer friends who are trying to do something too. Because what I always liked watching about gaming videos that I would watch sometimes when it was a group of people, they would sometimes include in their videos they would include like their friend's perspective that they saw of them. Um, I looked up.
But it's like it's cool.
What the angle? Yeah,
Like, cause like you're chilling and it
yeah.
has like Telling in the back, and
Uh
then it
huh.
has the also
Hey
Chuck
yo,
Taylor. So it's
he
like
said, look,
you tailored out,
he said
bro.
Taylor Gang. Um, so that's definitely what I say with like the creative part is just edit what you want to edit, and there was something else you said earlier, but I forgot now.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think about it. Uh, I don't remember, but yeah, I mean just edit really. I mean just edit and do what you want. I don't know what else if you were gonna say anything else to that.
Mm, um, damn. Cause I was gonna ask you like, should we do like a Q&A like towards this end, just in case like, the stream ends?
The streaming? What you mean?
Cause like I don't
Like a
want
Q&A of what?
like oh, food is ready.
That.
Cause I was gonna blow up the stream. I just like come hang so they can.
Oh, well, I mean, if anybody really wants to join and ask questions, then sure.
Cause like I was gonna post it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I was gonna post it earlier. Um, but I didn't want to get distracted because of chat. Like if people would
Mm-hmm.
have came in, then like having it like that, like figuring out how to put it so we can both read. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I'm overcomplicating this shit.
He said
It's
the
on my
computer's
laptop.
right here. He said the
Yeah,
laptop too.
bro, I could put my
And
laptop
that's
at the.
another thing. Yeah, you're right. That's why too. But that's why I would need like a tablet or laptop because depending how things would go live, I would want to be able to see the comments like right there in front of me, in case people like bring up questions or topics. Damn, that's another thing. I need to write that down too. hmm I have a journal. I have a little journal that I need to start carrying around with me more. I've been writing stuff down that I know I'm gonna forget.
Ooh, we got some heat.
Someone live streaming.
It's Quad.
Who?
Quad.
With that?
He's a producer. Like he makes beats and shit.
So you said something about a Q&A. I mean, either what do you mean by that, or we could
Or
end it
just
here in a minute.
like have like people pop in chat.
Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, I get what you mean.
That
Well,
way,
shit.
like if they come in, they come hang for a little bit. Like, what's up, guys?
We'll give it a few minutes and then we'll probably close it off. We'll close it off if no one really joins.
True.
Um, dang, I really wish I remember what I wanted to say to something you said. I just know what the gaming clip though. I know I need to save the clip. What is this? Zoning out right now for real. That's how I feel right now. Shit.
Shoot, try to remember. But it looks like my cat. No cap.
Fucking cat. Uh,
You know what's weird? It
oh,
didn't even tell me that you tagged me. Oh
I
wait.
didn't. It didn't tell you. Oh. What is
How
it?
do
Oh no, you can still share. Then people could join from the thing. Well, were you? I know. I'm sure you didn't see. Were you?
Hmm?
Was newbie? Or were you a newbie wanting to watch either Barbie or Oppenheimer?
So she actually wants to watch this other movie that hasn't been promoted as much. Uh, but I gotta get you the name. Hold on one sec. I gotta figure
There's
it
this
out.
horror movie that came out yesterday. That I'm interested in. I forgot what it was called though. It's by A24.
It's
I'm
24. Is
I'm
it?
an actual fan of A24 films now. There's
Yeah.
this one movie I'm waiting on to rent because I wasn't able to watch it in theaters. It's called Past Lives that they made. Looks like a good little sad story or introspective story. It's called Past Lives. Pretty much this woman that's she's married. She had a childhood crush way back then, and then um he finds her, I think, because I guess he just forever had a crush on her. And then the thing is, of course, she's married and she just completely forgot about this dude or whatever. But then he comes back, and from what I saw in the trailer, it doesn't seem like anything where he's trying to take her away from the marriage or she's gonna fall for him. Because from the trailer, it seems like the husband is okay with them hanging out, and it's just like it seems like it's a good story of them just catching up on everything they missed and then talking about what they went through before. It looked like a good story, so I was wondering. I definitely want to see it.
Yeah, it sounds like a very good movie.
Yeah, I
Like
definitely.
the movie that she wants to watch is called Sounds of Freedom.
Oh, I
That's
heard about that one. I
yeah,
would definitely like to watch that one to
this one
see.
she wants to watch. Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind watching that one. I heard it's good. I want to watch Oppenheimer though. That's the one I watched.
yeah, because I remember you invited me.
Oh
I
yeah, yeah, it is.
I would have went, bro, but I'm just such a homebody, bro. Like
Oh, I
I
feel
was
that.
like, damn, it's gonna be 9 o'clock. Movie won't be late, and I was like, fuck. I was like, do I want to Uber there? Do I want to drive there? And then
Mm.
everything was like, I'll just stay at
I'm not
home.
gonna lie. I'm only glad you said no because I misinterpreted the situation. Because I had bought all our tickets, and it seemed like one of our well, of us three, one of us canceled. That's what I got out of our conversation is that he canceled, and I was like, fuck, I don't want to deal with refunding the money, so that's why I texted you, uh, and then I texted someone else, and I'm glad they passed on it too, because I double checked with my friend. I'm like, hey, before I try to refund this, like, what's up? And
Yeah,
he's like, no, don't worry, it's all good now, this and that. And I was like, okay, cool. Cause I was about to cancel this ticket. Uh, I'm glad I just checked up with you. And he's like, okay, good, good, good. I was like, yeah, cause I wasn't sure, and I was just canceled it out of random. But yeah, cause the one that was gonna cancel, he was the one that wanted to watch the movie the most. Like he's
yeah.
big on like astrophysics and all this.
I
Movie was fucking great though. Loved it.
I need a. I didn't really know much about it, so at the same time I was like, I want to go and check it out, but
Mhm.
I was like, nah, I want to stay at home.
No, it's definitely a great movie. Do you know what it is about?
What was that? Not really. I just know that it was like a movie that came out of the blue, but it was like no CGI or whatever, or something. That's all I knew about because
Okay.
I seen it on Twitter, like it came, all people were talking about it, but I was never really like knowing what's going on.
It's
So
what's up,
we got someone in chat. This said
bro? Yo, stop that nonsense. Play that YB already. YB.
YB.
Oh, cause I think it was the the beat you were playing. The
Oh,
beat. I think. I guess he heard the beats you were
you
putting.
heard the beat? You want that beat back? I got you.
Boy, he don't want that beat.
You want that beat back?
Uh,
I got you.
Oppenheimer is about the building of the nuke, pretty much. The
Oh,
scientists who all got together to build it before they dropped it. Really good though. For someone who didn't like, who doesn't know a lot of this stuff, like I guess science, it was really good. It got my attention and the story was good.
Hell yeah. I definitely want. That's another thing. So I want to open my like watching new stuff. Not just being stuck in the same stuff.
Do y'all watch like a show together, or do y'all watch movies here and there?
We watch stuff here and there, but like new stuff that's new for both of us
Mm-hmm.
because like there's stuff that I mean there's some things, but it's just like branching out to like newer
Mm-hmm.
things because like there's some stuff that I want. Like she watches horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean I don't like horror movies, but I need to be like looking and open to like saying okay like there's a horror movie coming out. Does she want to go watch it? So kind of showing like interest, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you want to watch stuff too?
Cause I was gonna say, there's okay. I'm gonna give you two different shows for two different networks. Hulu, The Bear. I fucking love that show. It's
Hulu, The
called The Bear. It
Bear.
has two seasons right now,
It's
and she said the second season I think just finished some time ago. Me and my roommate binged it pretty much. Uh, I didn't want to watch it either because I was watching One Piece, um, and I finally caught up to it. But that's the thing too. I've missed out on so many. Now I'm catching up to all my shows, like
oh yeah,
slowly but surely. Because I was just
I see
watching
you
that
now.
one, man. I can't believe I finally completed my journey with One Piece. I caught up to it, and now I can move forward. Um, what was I gonna say? So the Bear on Hulu, I almost didn't watch it because that's why I was speaking about One Piece because I didn't want to add another show to watching something. But my roommate put it on. We watched the first episode and it got me. I was like, damn, it's a
Nice
really well done show. So that one I recommend on Hulu, and then Netflix, Beef.
beef.
Yeah, that was another one I didn't think I was gonna watch, but I said fuck it, put the first episode on. Funny enough, made by A24.
Oh
The
wow,
the the people who do it, they made the show, so I was like okay, and then
even more.
it
You're
caught
like,
my attention, so I was like yeah, it's a really good show. So on Netflix, Beef, and then you have HBO Max.
I think I do have Max, yeah, because it comes with
Okay, so
my
now a third one, HBO Max, and um The Righteous Gemstones. So
purchase.
Beef is a comedy show. Um, The Bear is considered a comedy. It's pretty funny. I like it. It's pretty funny, but it definitely has like character growth in the show.
Like as in like when it first starts, they're like whoa,
Yeah, like the
and then at the
if you
end,
pay attention to the show, like you, that's why I say it's a very well done show.
so it's
Cause
kind of okay.
despite it being like funny, like it's actually a really good story, and the characters in there, like you see the growth in them as the seasons go
Yep.
within these two seasons. It's
No, that's amazing because like that's like the same thing like with The Office. Like when you see the
I
characters
love The
grow, you're
Office.
like Kevin for a bit, his voice is like weird, and
Uh
then
huh.
eventually it gets like that Kevin voice,
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, that is Kevin. Before you're like, Kevin,
Yeah.
or like whenever, or like character growth and development. Like that's something I truly enjoy in shows. Like the one show like that I want to rewatch again, but I'm waiting to see if like my son's into it, so like kind of like watch it from the beginning to the end is Adventure Time.
Nice. Me and my son watch it here and there. He likes Adventure Time.
Dude, like the like Finn and like the whole character arc and everything, the
Mhm.
whole story. It's like, geez, man, like there's so much they get like material they have, but
Uh
it's just
huh.
like I know the constraints as well because it's so much that goes into animated shows compared to like
Oh yeah.
because it's yes you can do it without having to worry about having actors. You can have voice actors, yes, but like the animation time, like all that takes forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's another show that's really good one that I want to rewatch from the beginning, but I don't want to watch from the beginning because I want to watch, which is a Futurama, which like see where it picked off because
Mm.
I that's another good show that I like,
Hell yeah.
But no, definitely I'm gonna check them out.
And so,
Um,
Righteous Gemstones, final thing. That one's is just funny. So it's a satire comedy on mega churches. So it's hilarious. That one, those three shows I recommend if you want something to watch that's new. Uh, and then Adventure Time. Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm glad. That's why like now my son he's really starting to like anime. So now we're watching Dragon Ball. We watched a little bit of Naruto, and I really hope you fall in love with Naruto because Naruto is the one that got I think is the anime that got me into like loving anime. And then we're watching one that I've seen the first couple episodes. Now we're past where I had watched it, but he wanted to watch called Assassination Classroom, so he's enjoying that one a lot. I think it's just a one-off season, so yeah, I don't know. We'll finish it when we finish it, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm like I know my son has interest like in Marvel and stuff. But I can't wait to show him like the whole like series. Like that's crazy.
Man, I try to get my son into the movie series. It's whatever with me. I don't care about watching all the Marvel movies now in order. I do love them though. I can't wait for the further Spider-Man project.
Oh yeah, true. Like I can't wait to show him like the spider across, not across the
Oh
moon, but
yes,
the.
I can't wait till it comes out in DVD, bro.
True.
Beyond the
I
Spider
think
Verse.
I think it's about to come on streaming platforms soon,
Hell yeah,
which I can't wait to rewatch that again because
dude.
I was tripping. I was like, what the fuck? But then yeah.
Apparently the third one's getting delayed for a while, man.
Oh yeah, I can
I,
understand. Yeah.
I forgot what happened, but that and the Craven movie. That they said the third one is gonna be delayed for a good minute. They don't know how long now. And the Craven, they're delaying that one for a year. Have you seen the Craven trailer? It's really good. It looks good.
No, that's something too. I've been slacking on consuming content.
Hmm.
Like, yes, it's good to consume content, but I feel like I've just been disconnected, I guess.
I feel that.
Just getting reconnected back to the rhythm of stuff. But yeah, I think like right now I'm just enjoying my time with my kids
That's good.
and like my wife like trying to enjoy all the time because that's all we have right now is time,
Yeah.
you know. And also try to like do things outside of just the norm as well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I got myself into a routine, so I should break from the routine and mix it up.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's good.
no, yeah. So like, I haven't seen the new trailer for Craven. Like, I did see the new Secret Invasion series. Have you seen it?
I
Or
have
yeah,
only seen the first two
first
episodes.
episode.
Did you like it?
I would watch it all the way through because it does change a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it because I'm a Marvel fan, so I'm sticking with like all the stories and shit. So did you like it then?
I watched it. Like, I don't wanna give it too much of a like I'm kind of curious to see how it plays out of the rest of everything else,
Uh
but
huh.
I did enjoy it. There were some good points in the
Uh-huh.
movie in the show where you're like, damn, like this is Secret Invasion, like holy
Nah,
shit,
cause I
like
heard people like debating on online about it. Some people saying it was rushed and it kind of sucked ass, and but other people are like, nah, it was pretty good, this and that.
I can say that it was good in the sense that it was quick. Like it
Yeah.
was like, okay, this is what happened and this is what's happening,
Uh huh.
but the effects of this is gonna be much bigger than you really think
Okay.
because like um there's stuff that you're just like, okay, they don't flat out tell you, but now you kind of know because of certain things in the past movies. So now you're just like, wow, now that changes everything because
Mm.
yeah, like
Okay. Yeah, I
once you
definitely do need to finish it, cause
once
that's another thing I heard. That the show fills a lot of not a plot. It doesn't fill plot holes, but it gives more insight to like several different movies that has passed.
yes, it definitely does because you're
So
just
that's
like
why I'm like, damn,
you're
bro.
like holy shit, no
And
way,
then
like
another thing I've been seeing that apparently fucking Rodney the Iron Patriot, Iron Man's friend, I forgot that he's been a scroll the whole time since like Infinity War or some shit.
Well, yeah, since
I don't
Civil
know.
War.
Yeah, since Civil War, I was like, damn, bro.
So it's kind of like, who beside you was the scroll and who wasn't. So
Yeah.
like they could also play on that. So there was a storyline, I think. I remember one of the YouTubers kind of like touching on was that Captain America was a scroll kind of thing. So yeah, it's like it's cool. Like I think they might actually pull that off too. So say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
was Captain America a scroll or was he not? Because the only way to know is if they got hurt or like really badly or if they died. So we know Iron Man wasn't a scroll, but now it's like who else was a scroll that is from the Avengers?
Mm-hmm.
We know for sure it wasn't Hulk because Hulk didn't like his hand didn't turn into whatever their hands look like, I guess.
Yeah.
Like reptile, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But Rhodey, yeah, like
So there you
he
go.
he's he's been a scroll since Civil War, so it's like um everything after that never happened to him, sort of say, because he wasn't there. Like
Yeah.
he was like basically out of sight, out of mind, like consciously until he came back to conscious.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like you passed out, but when you came back, you're able to walk again. Like you're not able to walk anymore. So it's like, and even then, like Tony's dead. They're gonna have to walk him through everything of that. Show him clips and stuff. Of whatever was documented.
Wait, so Rhodey shows up in the show and say,
So
"Oh,
the way that because basically
you
it
can
goes.
tell me some stuff. Not don't exploit every because I know I already know bits and pieces. I heard the Super Scroll gets in that girl. She apparently can copy everybody's fucking powers or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know everything that happens, but I
I just
know
say
those pieces.
watch the show.
Okay,
It'll make sense, and if it doesn't make sense, then
but I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it.
it's just like wow, like they did this. Like this show could have been so amazing. Guys, like I feel like Hawkeye was a bad like they did him bad in the sense like the show could have been better.
Uh huh.
But I mean, I'm kind of like not really too upset on the shows because like yes, the shows carry the plot along, but it's the movies that kind of help cement that because
Yeah.
you know if a show like if episode one does good, episode two does good, and episode three does bad, and then episode four does okay, then they'll know on season two, okay, what do I fix, or
Hmm.
vice versa. Like okay, we're doing better in season two. What do we do now? We're not. So it's like you can grow up. But on movies, it's kind of like you have 1 hour and something minutes. How can you keep the person that's sitting down, like nailed to their seat until the credits roll?
Hmm.
So it's kind of like whenever I was watching the Spider-Man movie, I was like, oh shit, like this movie's like been going on. How is it gonna conclude? And then they end up with like a to be continued,
Fucking
and you're
hoes.
just like,
I never, bro. It did not cross my mind for a third one. I was just so into the movie.
yeah, I was like, damn, that he's about to go home.
For
He's about to
real,
tell them the
bro. I
truth,
didn't even
and
think that was the end. I was like, what? Spider-Man. Yeah, they did a really good job with that movie too, man. Loved it.
so you want some wings, bro?
Yeah. With that, sir, is there anything you'd like to say? Any what you got going? Any words of insight? Anything or whatever? Say whatever you'd like to say, sir.
Roll one always. If you don't roll, you know, smoke smoke your pen. Don't smoke none of that tobacco. But I mean, big doinks in this.
Big doinks.
Drink
All we do
water.
is smoke big doinks.
Big doinks.
So follow rule one, roll. And then two, smoke big doinks. Doinks, doinks. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ugg.
Deuces.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Uh, hell yeah. Viewbot Pro is now phone.
I need a pee.